Central Norway, the island of Hitra on the Atlantic coast. In early April, winter still prevails, with freezing temperatures at night. During the day, temperatures reach 5 degrees Celsius. The fjord landscape is peaceful in the midday sun. Seeing such scenes, one immediately thinks of clean water and untouched nature. But the scenery is no longer so idyllic. This is one of the largest fish farms in Norway, with 560,000 salmon. For a long time, the area has been heavily polluted. All sorts of toxins have entered the sea, partly from the ships, partly from the surrounding villages. Here, in the ecologically sensitive north, environmental toxins degrade at a slower rate than in the warmer waters of the south. Around Hitra, the sea is slightly warmer compared to other fjords. The temperature of the waters is currently 4 degrees Celsius. In the summer, it can rise to 14 degrees. The supply ship docks. The plants here cost 700,000 euros alone. 8 other plants with different generations of fish are still within an hour's drive. In each of the pools, 70,000 salmon swim in the smallest of spaces.
You have to drag the salmon down to make him quiet so I can hold it. This is an Atlantic salmon, and now it's about 2 kilos. It was put to sea in May last year, and then it was about 80 grams. Now we feed it once a day, and in 4 or 5 months it will be 5 kilos, and then we slaughter it.
In the north, the salmon farmers can count themselves lucky. A few hundred kilometers to the south, between Bergen and Lidenis, the salmon have been dying for weeks. The reason? Poisonous algae called chatonella carried over by ships from the Japanese Sea. These killer algae first appeared in 1998 and live mainly in heavily polluted marine regions. It requires polluted water in order to grow. This says something about the water status in southern Norway. Marine biologists believe things could get a whole lot worse, as most of the algae has not reached the coast. 680 tons of fish have been killed by the algae, and the people of Norway are powerless. They can only watch the fish die as millions of dollars in investment disappear. The current advice is to feed the fish sparsely, or not at all, so that they swim deeper, as the algae clouds are mostly found on the surface. The fish can survive months without food. But the salmon breeders now fear for the salmon's existence should the algae spread further. Further north in Hitra, people are aware of the algae's existence, but it so far hasn't affected the waters. But viral diseases are dangerous. The most dangerous epidemic is ISA, Infectious Salmon Anaemia, which dilutes the blood of fish and suffocates them.
If you get that disease, we have to slaughter all the fish.
It was last in the region 5 years ago.
All the nets and clean.
One has to kill all the salmon immediately and clean everything and wait until the virus disappears. The water in the fjord is 15 meters deep. Experts have discovered that salmon from certain regions, not necessarily from this farm, have absorbed heavy metals and poisons in greater concentrations. The Norwegian environmental organization has even warned that both wild and farmed salmon are heavily contaminated by polychlorinated biphenyls. These have been used since the 30s in the production of paints, marine varnish and hydraulic oils. They can reach people via the food chain and cause immune system defects, bronchitis and cancer. 250 grams of salmon a week would be enough to reach the limit of residue recommended by the World Health Organization. Everywhere people are contributing. Wild salmon have been living in fresh water for 3 years. Farmed salmon are brought here after 1 year in the sea basin. There are tons of food, with a computer distributing feed automatically. with everything calculated exactly. The industrial feed is 9 millimeters long and weighs 60 milligrams. This is what the salmon supposedly like the most. The salmon's typical colour of salmon pink, obtained in the wild through a diet of shrimp and other small animals, is accounted for via an artificially created pigment. The use of antibiotics, however, is strongly denied.
No. We don't use anything in the feed.
Antibiotic or
No. It's very seldom. But,
you do that only if there is a disease coming or what?
Yes, but I can't remember the last time we used any antibiotics.
The underwater camera shows the reality of factory farming. Nothing is left to chance. The quantity of food has to be carefully controlled so that the target weight is reached as quickly as possible. The ocean floor must also be given time to recover from the uneaten feed and salmon excretion. After demonstrations of the large amounts of fecal matter that the salmon produce, it was ordered that fish farming may not operate in the same waters for more than 6 months. A fishing trawler docks with tanks of seawater and 30 tons of live salmon from the region's farms. The blue oxygen tanks ensure the salmon's survival in the darkness. They are pumped directly into the fish factory via huge pipes. These images are not for the faint-hearted. Workers cut open the salmon and take their guts out with a suction device. The smell fits the image. On average, these fish weigh 10 to 20 kilograms. The big fish are generally shock frozen and sent to Japan for sushi and sashimi. The most expensive salmon weighs about 5 kilograms. It is delivered fresh. These are images we know well from other areas of factory farming. This is the fillet machine. Here the fillets are trimmed by hand.
Das ist meine einzige Arbeit zu bekommen und ich bin zufrieden von der Arbeit.
The demand for fish has greatly increased since BSE and foot-and-mouth disease.
Nei, vi venter en økning på etterspørselen de årene som kommer. Vi har et slakteri her i dag som har en kapasitet på ca. 30 tonn.
The price for farmed salmon has also risen. It now costs around €4 per kilogram. 2 weeks ago it was about €3. But salmon breeders fear that, after BSE and foot-and-mouth disease, salmon's problems will come into the limelight and the consumer will lose his appetite.